What up, y'all? Appreciate you coming through, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like, subscribe, hit bell. So yeah. It seems that the Xbox outsold PlayStation 5 in Europe for the first time ever, according to people. That's interesting, isn't it? Now, what the Ponies and the Donkey Unicorns will say, well, that's because Xbox made more consoles, that's why they sold more. I mean, that may be the case. Also, PlayStation 5 isn't making enough consoles, or they just, the supply is limited or whatever, and people go into the store and they see an Xbox, no PlayStation, they're like, I gotta get something, let's go. They get an Xbox, right? That's also a case. That happens, right? So what is it difficult? Is it hard to believe that maybe that was the case in the beginning of this generation, where PlayStation 5 just had more stock and Xbox did not, and that's why PlayStation sold more in the beginning and now they're not selling more? Seems like it to me. Also, in the beginning, Xbox was allocating a certain percentage of their stock to their cloud infrastructure, which they have filled up now, or I would assume they have. So now they can concentrate on retail. Also, last year, was it 2020 or 2021? I don't remember when exactly they did it, but they made a deal with AMD. Phil was like, yo, Sue, what's the deal? What can we do? We need some more Xboxes, son. And she was like, I got you, B. And then boom. Microsoft said, AMD said, and boom, more Xboxes. Now, some out there will be like, oh, they paid to get more chip exclusive, or I forgot what the actual chip allocation to AMD. Yeah, that's how it works. You have to pay AMD to make the chips for you. That's basically how it works. So since Microsoft has all the monies, they could be like, yo, we give you some more money. You want to make a priority? Let's go. Y'all want more money? Y'all want money? Y'all want more money, though. And then they like, yeah, AMD wants more money. Yeah, AMD speaks in the third person. Don't ask me why. They just do. So AMD's like, AMD like money. We want more money. They also devolve languagely. Wow. Anyway, and Sony's sitting there like, do we have can we get a loan or something? Can we get more money? And then they did get money, right? But the deal was already made. So they're like, we got all this money. What are we going to do? Let's just buy Bungie. Let's just use all the money we got from our loan and buy Bungie for way too much. It seems like Microsoft is putting their money. They have more money. They have all the money, right? Yet still they're making they're more intelligent, smart. Let's just say smarter financial moves, investments, if you will. They say, hey, we need more Xboxes. How are we gonna make this happen? Boom, they did it. It's done, right? Meanwhile, Sony needs more PlayStations. They're making PlayStation 4s. Look, I don't make this stuff up. This is what happened. This is what happening. I can't even explain to you how bass-ackwards this generation is. And Sony's just throwing it away. They're like, you know what? We're gonna throw it away. I mean, we're gonna make money because that's all that's important. We don't care what we look like. We don't care if we lose face. I guess they don't care if they lose some market share because they're losing it. It's happening like right before our eyes. People on the internet. I've watched like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 videos today, just before doing this. And it was Rich, it was Destin, it was somebody else I can't remember. They're all talking about Sony in trouble. Well, that was Destin's video. Sony in trouble? And then Rich is like, yo, it was a smart business move. Sony, what are you doing? Hey. He doesn't talk like that. Hey, it's all bad news. The MBG, Muscle Bound Gamer, is like, oh man, shucks. I wish Sony could get more consoles out there. Aw, shucks. Because he's a pony. So I'm like, Sony's a $1 billion company, corporation, if you will. I think they have the manpower. They definitely have the monies to do things, certain things. But when your competition is, I don't even know how many times more greater, larger, I don't want to say more profitable, but as far as Sony versus Microsoft, yes, more profitable, but also worth way more. What is Sony at? They're in the billions, right? Microsoft is in $2 trillion. They've doubled their worth since they hit the $1 trillion, which was a couple of years ago. Now they're over $2 trillion. I'm like, how do you even compete with that? How does Sony wake up every morning and be like, yeah, we're gonna beat them up again, yeah, because we're Sony? That can only last for that kind of mentality. The, I don't know, privileged, the I don't know what to call them, but that mentality that the Ponies have, the Donkey Unicorns have, that some of Sony has, can only last them for so long without them actually making moves to counter or to differentiate themselves in a way that they can become bigger. I don't think Sony is interested in becoming bigger. They just want to make more money, right? And that in there lies the problem. Because the size of Microsoft, you look at what they do, it's not just video games. Sony does movies, cameras, video games, whatever else. I think they have insurance or something. Microsoft is embedded in technology of the world. Literally everything you do, not everything, but for the most part, many businesses use Microsoft products. Many businesses use the Azure farms. Sony's not even looking at that. They're like, whatever. We're just gonna do what we're gonna do. We're gonna make these boutique games. They can't even do that for long because I heard this. It was David Jaffe, creator of God of War, speaking on God of War Ragnarok. Now you would say, well, he's a Sony guy because he used to work for Sony. He likes Sony. He likes the people of Sony. He likes some of the people that still work at Sony. He used to work with him, blah, 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 right? He's a cool guy. I think he's a pretty, I like watching him. He's entertaining. He's a smart fella and stuff. But he doesn't pull any punches. He doesn't care. He'll throw some F-bombs all up in your face. That's just him. That's David, excuse me. And he said, first, way back, he said, God of War Ragnarok, the sequel that's coming out whenever, said, it looks like more of the same. And then people got mad. The Twitters got mad at him. Ba-ba-dee-ba-boo, right? I just watched a video yesterday. Or was it today? I don't remember. I think it was yesterday. And he rewatched the God of War Ragnarok trailer. And he said the exact same thing. It's more of the same. Doesn't feel like it's there. Looks like more of DLC than an actual sequel. Now, when I said more of the same for Horizon Forbidden West, people are like, man, you an Xbox, blah, 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 blah. When David Jaffe, the creator of God of War, says more of the same to a new God of War not yet come out, you gotta pay attention. You gotta wait a second, what's going on here? See, and there's a trend happening with Sony's games because they are all the same type. They're all cinematic, third-person, story-driven games, right? So when you think about it, how much more can they kind of be creative in the mechanics of the game? I mean, you can do some stuff, I guess, whatever, but it all comes down to the writing. And I would say the setting, or there's different things that can differentiate your sequels. But what they're doing is, and what they have to do, because their budgets are ballooning out of control, so they cannot afford to spend 5 to 7 years on God of War Ragnarok, they got to push that out in like 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that game was already written from way before, so that's not the issue. It's just a matter of doing it. But if it's not doing anything new on a scale that is like from God of War Ascension to God of War 2018, if that jump isn't there, then it's more of the same. Then it's what David Jaffe says. Then it's like, oh, this should have been, or it feels like DLC. The same thing is going to happen to all these games that you love, like The Last of Us. The Last of Us 3, guess what? More of the same. It's going to feel that way because you cannot recreate, you cannot bring back that magic of those first games because it was super new. It was like, yo, this is crazy nice. But when you do a sequel, and it's like, let's use the same animations. Let's do that and that. I mean, it'll probably get good scores, but it's not going to be like so groundbreaking like the first games were. More of the same. So it's really more of the same station, basically. That's what the PlayStation 5 is becoming, more of the same. The next Ratchet and Clank, more of the same. And you name any of their games, more of the same. Unless they're doing new IP, more of the same. That's what it is. I mean, you know, what can you say? I mean, we were talking about how Xbox outsold PS5, but, you know, we kind of tangentialized it, segued into the more of the same discussion, which is the problem with PlayStation. I mean, that's not Xbox selling more than PlayStation is not necessarily a problem with their games, and people buy it for their games, but Colin Moriarty said this, paraphrasing, of course. He said that Microsoft is going to kill them this generation because Sony doesn't have the bandwidth. I'm paraphrasing. Sony doesn't have the bandwidth to keep up with the amount of studios that Xbox has acquired. Now, this was before they got Activision, Blizzard, King. Before. Now, it's a wrap, if you will. So, Microsoft has the bandwidth. It just hasn't come to fruition yet because, you know, it takes time to make games, you know. So, they have the bandwidth, they have the studios, they have the games coming. Sony does not. They're buying these studios here and there, little one here, little one there, but they also have to fill up their VR, the PSVR 2. So you'd be like, oh, they're buying studios too, so it's gonna be, no, it's not, because somebody needs to make VR games. So unless they keep buying studios, see, Microsoft Xbox doesn't have to worry about a VR tangent arm of their business because they don't have that. And people are like, oh, Xbox is whack because they don't have VR. No, they're better because they don't have VR, because they don't have to worry about VR. The niche market that is VR, that barely, what is the percentage? 0.5% of players that have PlayStations have VR or whatever it is? Or it's, let's see, I mean, maybe it's 1%, something like that. You know, 1 and change. So it's like, why? You know, why is Sony doing this? Why? It's all about money. It's all about them making it, an alluring purchase, right? But at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, Sony's playing the short game, Microsoft's playing the long game. Sony could, if they wanted to, be like, all right, look, we need to invest in this, that, and the third. Sony's not interested in an investment. They're interested in making money, period. I'm going to tell you why. Because they don't even want to invest the money that it would take to make PlayStation 3 games backwards compatible on PlayStation 5. They don't even want to do that. The simplest thing that is already exists on PC. Someone in their garage has done it. And all Sony has to do is basically say, yo, can we buy that from you? Let's go. They don't have to spend hundreds of millions. They'll be like, let's buy that emulator and we can mess with it and tweak it. Or we can hire this guy to work for us to make this happen. They don't even want to do that. They don't want to even invest in their own back catalog. The history of PlayStation. Sony's like, nah, we're good. We're good. We're going to make a new VR for y'all so y'all could spend more money on that trash. I mean, Look, if you're a pony, you're a donkey unicorn. I hate using those words, but there's no other words to describe you when you're capping for a company like this and you're cheerleading for a company like this, and they don't give a flaming hot G-damn. They don't care about your ass. They don't care about you at all. They care about your dollar, of course. Your dollar, your pennies, your pence, whatever, your yen, whatever denomination that you have of currency. They want that. But your opinion, they don't care about your opinion. Obviously not. Unless it's bad. And they're like, uh-oh, we're going to lose money if we don't fix this. So let's get on the good side of the customers who pay us money so they won't be mad and just dump us all together. That's the motivation. Y'all got to look at the motivation of Sony this generation. It is to make money and to not make people so mad that they stop getting money, giving money to Sony. That's it, and that's all. Simplified. You could paint whatever truth and narrative that you want on it, but this is what's happening now. This is Jim Ryan's Sony. I hope you're happy with it. I appreciate you hanging out. Like and subscribe. Watch all the videos. Bleepity bloppity bloop. I got some more coming. Don't you worry. I lost my mouse cursor. There it is. Still to wait.